Hi, this is Dr. Hansen. This episode, we talk about professional liability insurance, otherwise known as malpractice insurance. Of course, you need this before you start to practice to cover you for any events related to claims related to medical care. The document that accompanies this video has a lot more information that we'll cover, but here are some of the basic things you look for. Of course, you look for price. You do shop around for price. But the second thing you look for is you want to look at the AM Best rating of the company. You want to know that the company is solvent, that it has adequate reserves for insurance to act as an insurance company should a claim be lost or settlement need to be made. The third item is you would like to have right of refusal. So if the insurance company decides that they're going to settle out on you, they're just going to say, well, it's cheaper if we you just admit that there was some wrongdoing, there was malpractice, and let's just get this over with. You need to be able to have the right to say, no, you do not consent to that settlement, that you want to carry forth with the claims or the court process because you feel what was done was correct. So you don't want the insurance company to be able to railroad you into a settlement or an action that you disagree with. The other idea that you want to look at looking for a professional liability company is what attorneys do they use? And does that attorney represent you specifically? In other words, are you going to have a working relationship with that attorney? Somebody who's going to know you, who's familiar with your practice style, etc. The attorney who is going to help defend you, that's an important cog in this wheel. And so you want to be able to know that you actually have an attorney that's qualified. So you also do need to vet the attorneys that work for that organization. Another item you will look for is that if you are in a low volume practice, such as a direct primary care practice, you want to find out, does that organization, professional liability carrier, do they have a discounted rate for individuals who are in a low volume practice, who see fewer patients, but more so, the low volume practice would be able to see patients longer and do more thorough history and physicals and have greater access to communication, etc. So in other words, there's less chance of the ball being dropped in the medical sense of the word. So look for a discount for direct primary care or a low volume practice. The other item to look for in a professional liability carrier will be, do they offer other services such as, do they have a claims representative or a risk management department that will come out to your office and to review what are potential weak spots for you? In other words, they're going to do sort of professional liability assessment of the risk level of your practice. Offering that service is really valuable because they can give you a lot of education. So some of those things there you want to look at a professional liability carrier. Sure, shop around, but at least keep those particular subject items at a minimum. Okay, thank you for listening. Take care.